Welcome back to DMC Sports. There it is. Logo in the corner of the screen. Today we're going to talk about some vintage pickups. And when I say vintage, I mean, pre-85. I don't collect anything after 85 of most folks, unless I'm a super collector of them or something like that. So I picked up this 1983 remake of the Phil Rizzuto card. Pretty sweet. It's in nice condition. It's only, from 83. So that was neat. As many of you do know, I'm going to collect a lot of cards from the 1975 set. I like them a lot, especially I'll get the Royals. But then I'll get other cards that I know. If I know the guys, I know them from the 80s. I'll pick them up. George Orta, he played for a hometown team. He was a very good hitter. DH at the end of his career. Bob Watson just passed away. He was a real go-getter, happy-go-lucky, loved baseball, loved baseball. He was very well respected and liked in baseball. And R.I.P. to Bob. Dick Drago, he was on the mound for some very interesting stuff. So, Raleigh Fingers, the World Series. Bruce Del Canton. I've never heard of him until I saw this card. And I'm a pretty big Royals fan. So, Steve Stone, sweet. He was a good pitcher, good announcer. Larry Dirker, another ball four. A lot of these players I actually know from 1969 season, the book Ball 4. He talks about a lot of players, so I picked up some of those guys. There's another Freddie Patek. I got a good Freddie Patek story I need to tell sometime. Amos Soda's Don Mincher. This is another guy that was I learned about because he was in the Seattle, as you can see here, 1969. He was in Seattle. I got some interesting stories. Sandy Alomar, his sons were really good at baseball too. Bob Bruce is just an older card, and it says 45s on it. It's for the Astros, so I kind of thought that was neat. A few random cards. This card here, you guys do not recognize him, I bet. I did right off the bat, because this is a manager with the Yankees and the Royals in 1985. This is Dick Hauser's card when he played with the Cleveland Indians. R.I.P. Dick Hauser, a Kansas City managing great. And our manager, he's in our Hall of Fame. Just older cards. There's Gene Brabender. He was a big fella, 6'5", 225. If you read the book, he was in Seattle, of course, in 1969, which was the year after this picture was taken. And he was a force. No one messed with Gene Brabender. He was feared as a big man, but he was a nice guy mostly. But there's some good stories in that book about that. And Fred Talbot was in that movie. It was in that book quite a bit too. So I really enjoyed it. I got a couple of his cards. Lashman, I know him as a Seattle manager, I believe. Raleigh Fingers, this is a great card. It's probably another one of Kraft singles or something. Somebody cut this out and didn't do a very good job, but I've never seen it before, and I picked it up on the cheap, and it's got that cool mustache. So I had to have it. Anything Athletics from Kansas City, which is what this is, I pick up to show the example of the uniform. Ooh, we're getting into some cool stuff here. I decided to collect the Pete Rose cards from the 60s and 70s. This is my second or third dive into picking up a few of the cards. These are pretty sharp looking cards. The corners are a little, these are easy to pick up here. The corners are a little roached, but and there's Pete running hard like he always does. Charlie Hustle. More and more Charlie Hustle. More and more and more. Now, these guys are icons, some of them, especially Rose. But I got one card here I want to talk about. He's going to end the video up with a little special pickup for me. So I want to share that with you guys. It means a lot to me. I have finally picked up 9 or 10 of the 84 Fleer Don Mattingly, and they're all in the PCA and PSA grading, because I have this that hangs on my wall. It's gonna be, look, you can see my ceiling here. I'll turn that off. There we go. It's a little better. I've got the PSA 9 in this guy, the tops, and the PSA 9 in this guy, the Don Ross, which is, I have 2 or 3 other of these. It's off center, it says. And then I got this BCCG 9. So one doesn't look like the other. I bought all 3 of these cards for $90, and then I picked up this frame at a garage sale, actually, and I got the picture of him here, and it's on my wall. So now he'll replace here So I'm super excited to have these. I'll put all of them in there. That'd be sweet. I put 4 graded cards in here, and I'm really, really excited to have it. I have a special video I'm going to make talking about the legend that is Don Mattingly, Donnie Baseball. You guys know I'm not a huge Yankees fan, but I am a big fan of Don Mattingly, watching a lot of sports, baseball, especially in the 80s. He's well respected, so I'm going to talk a lot about that. And I'm very happy to be able to share this with you guys that I finally got it. So I don't have this in a protective sleeve yet because it has some, I need to touch up. I get my plastic X, I think it's called, and I'll buff all this out and make it nice on both sides, and then put it in the protection. Yeah, it'll look cool. So, guys, what's your guys' take on Pete Rose or Don Mattingly? Neither one of these guys are actually, I just realized, are in the Hall of Fame, but a lot of people think they should be. Well, for extremely different reasons. The clean cut and the not so clean cut. I personally don't mind that either one of them were in. He was a dominant guy in his time that he was in here. His defense was high. This guy was one of the best baseball players to ever live. He proved it by getting the most hits of anybody. He thought he'd only be out for 1 year, and it turned out to be a lifetime ban. He may get in one day after he's dead. Who knows? But yeah, comment if you guys want to talk about this at all. And if you happen to like Don Mattingly or Pete Rose, give me a like if you feel like it. Subscribe to, folks. Appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end of the video.